Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Today on the program, senators buckle down to business after a major change in leadership.
Lula. But siyempre, we'll have to rely on our experience and the help of my colleagues.
On the table, the immediate passage of the Bangsamoro Basic Law.
I've already asked the President to certify the measure as urgent.
And a national ID system bill.
We're going to have a national ID system that will not specify religious affinity, because we don't want it to also be, a measure for prejudice and discrimination.
Also, the President signs a law that eases doing business in the country.
Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to give prescribed time periods, like time frame for particular permits.
Senate Majority Leader Juan Miguel Zubiri joins us live. And later, from new leadership to a new Senate building. A look at the building's newly approved design on today's In Focus. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. Well, we are going to have our newsmaker today. President Rodrigo Duterte has certified the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law as urgent. This comes after the meeting of lawmakers and the President together with the Bangsamoro Transition Committee Monday evening. Lawmakers hope to resolve conflicting provisions in the proposed measure and submit a report to the President in time for a State of the Nation address, or SONA. Also, the President signs a law that amends the Anti-Red Tape Act and fast-tracks business transactions in the country. Let's go straight to the source of the story, our newsmaker, Senate Majority Leader Juan Miguel Zubiri. Senator, hello,
Nice
good morning,
back.
and congratulations.
Thank you. The bills that you mentioned are both my bills.
I'm
so happy to report.
Well, first, I'm going to congratulate you for being Senate Majority Leader. This is your second time, I believe.
Second time.
So, a new challenge again for you.
A new challenge, a lot of work. It's nothing new to me because I've been there for 2 years. And you know my character, Pinky, nothing changes. It's just work, work, work.
Yeah.
I didn't even change my room. I asked to stay in the same room because there's a room on the 6th floor for the Majority Floor Leader's
A bigger
office.
one.
A bigger one. I gave it to Senator Coco Pimentel out of respect. And I decided to stay in my own room. So for me, it's just a lot of long hours. That's it. Long hours of work.
Yeah, and no need to change rooms for this, for the new title.
No need.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you very
much. This one, which I know, Senator, we talked about this during your last guesting. The ease of doing business, the President just signed.
Yes.
Republic Act 11032, or the Ease of Doing Business Act. This is an amendment to the Anti-Red Tape Bill or Law of 2007. So, when you were here the last time, we talked about this, and it sounds really good.
Thank you very much.
So let's start with the salient points. Transaction. The period of transaction, you have 3 days, 7 days, and 20 days. Okay.
It's good that everybody knows their rights. We passed this law to answer all the problems of red tape, which was not able to be solved by the old Anti-Red Tape Act. We have an Anti-Red Tape law, but it was just a slap in the wrist. The penalties for the violations were just suspensions. Civil service was supposed to track it, but even civil service admitted to us that they lack the manpower, they lack the people to do it. So we had to craft a new law. And when I resigned in 2011, and went to work in business, I got into business, I got into all sorts of problems, and I mentioned that in my last meeting here with you. Delays of 6 months for certain permits. Meron pa nga isa, 1.5 years, Pinky, para mabigay yung aming certification. It's a government agency that I will not mention anymore. I think I bang them too much in other shows, but with this law, they have no choice. Under this law, para malaman ng taong bayan, under this law, yung local government units, transactions is a local government units, it's 3 days for simple transactions, and the maximum of 7 days for more complex transactions, where maybe if it's a building permit, where the engineering department of the local local government unit has to visit, but they only have 7 working days. That's maximum. And for national government agencies, you're talking about the DNR, for example, apply kayo ng ECC or FDA when you're applying for certification from FDA and other government agencies, it is now no more than 20 working days. 20 po, 20 araw lamang ang pagproseso ng papeles nyo. Now, if they don't, this is the beauty of it, if they don't...
Are you going to talk about the penalties? I want to talk
Yes.
about the 3, 7, and 21st, the
Yes,
3.
yes.
Would this be, you know, people who want to open a business in a mall? Let's say a
Yes.
salon or a
Yes.
food business. Does that fall under 3 or 7?
Well, if you're applying to the local government unit,
Yes.
3 and 7. 3 for simple transactions and 7 for more complex transactions. Pero ito yun, ang kagandahan nito, Pinky, is that it is deemed approved after the prescribed time. So if you submit all the documentation, di alam ng ating mga kababayan yan, na-submit nyo lahat ng papeles.
Hiningan kayo ng 20 dokumento, for
20 dokumento.
example.
Naipasa nyo dun sa clerk or teller dun sa office na yan. They stamp it. Once it's stamped, it means that the time allotted to it is already running.
Begins.
Starts then.
Aha.
In 7 working days, or let's say 3 working days if it's a simple transaction, pag hindi na-actionan yan, under the law, it is deemed approved.
Really?
And they have no choice because they didn't act on it. Because they have a period also within the 3 working days or the 7 working days where they can
Ask for more documents, ganon?
they can't ask for more documents. Ito yung kagandahan nito. Kung ano nakalista sa kanilang tanggapan, which is the Citizens Charter, it's called a Citizens Charter, under the law, they must have that. Without that, it's a violation of the law. So, if they say 1 to 20 documents, yan po lamang ang pwede nila mahingi. Under the law, one of the violations is, if they ask you for more documents, kasi yan ang style ng
So
mga...
they can't ask you for... para tumagal.
unscrupulous, para
Under the
humingi ng
table.
under the table, para mapabilis yung transaction mo. Kasi kung hindi mo bibigyan, sasabihin, ay, kulang pa ito, balik ka ulit bukas. Pagbalik mo, ay, kulang ito, wala na naman itong mga... But it's not in the list, di ba? Wala sa listahan. So, bawal na yan na yun.
So first and foremost, pag pumunta po kayo sa LGU, meron ka na dapat, hingin mo na yung listahan, Senator. For
Yes.
example, yung
Yes.
20 documents needed,
Could
for
be 5,
example.
could be 20,
Yeah.
whatever the list is.
Whatever the LGU requires.
Yes.
And then once you submit the, let's say 20, let's stick to 20, you give it to whoever, pag stinampan yan,
Ano na yan?
the time begins.
The time begins.
But when they stamp it, they need to browse through the 20
Yes,
documents. Will
yes,
they
yes.
tell you, sir, na at sandali lang ha, bumalik ka bukas kasi
Yes.
pag-aaralan pa namin ng engineering department, ng health department, ng sanitary. Baka naman may ganun, sir.
Alam mo, violation din po yan, yung delay na yan. Once the documents are already in place, pag hindi nila tinanggap yan at sasabihin pa nila sa iyo, naku, pag-aralan pa namin
Papag-aralan namin.
Bawal yan. Ito pwedeng magagawa ng ating mga kababayan. Sa violations nakalagay dyan, very clear, isa sa mga violations yan. Now, the nice thing about this is, we have now created an anti-red tape authority.
Right.
The ARTA.
Right.
Itong Anti-Red Tape Authority, under the Office of the President yan. The President very excited, kahapon kausap namin siya, mag-a-appoint daw siya ng isang baka ex-military. Basta sabi niya, diretso, yung walang taint of corruption. Kasi under the authority, doon kayo magsusumbong, magkakaroon ng hotline. Pag hotline nyo dyan, moto proprio, yung Anti-Red Tape Authority, i-investigate yung agency na yan, whether it's local government or national government.
You know, I guess that's really important because one of the promises of the President during his SONA,
Yes.
was it the first or the second? Sinabi niya,
All the
ayoko na.
sonas, he hates anti-red tape.
Yeah.
Oo.
Ayaw niya nung
Ayaw niya ng red tape.
pinatatagal yung mga tao kapag
He always
gumagawa
uses
sila.
Davao as an example. Pag may nag-complain sa kanya, tinatanggal daw niya yung head of office pag medyo may taint of corruption or tinatagal yung mga papeles. So, ang kagandahan pa nito, Pia, I'll show you. Pinky, sorry, Pinky. Pinky, is the penalties. Only 2-strike policy.
Okay.
There's a 2-strike policy. So, pag nagawa ng isang government agent yung violations, and there are several violations listed here, kinumpleto na namin para walang lusutan. They right away will be suspended. First offense, it is administrative liability with 6 months suspension. Yes.
Sinong
And
isususpend, sir?
yung
Tumatanggap?
yung tumatanggap ng papeles.
Sino
Even
ba?
even up to the signing authority. Pwede up to the signing authority. So,
They will be
yung second-
suspended for 6 months?
Yes. So let's say yung mayor magpipirma, hindi siya pumirma, pwede siya masuspend for 6 months. Ito kagandahan. Second offense, Second offense, it's a perpetual disqualification from holding public office, dismissal from service, imprisonment from 1 to 6 years. Ito yung wala dati. Now at least you put the fear of God into these to government bureaucrats. They will have to be careful. Kailangan mapabilis nila yung mga proseso ng dokumento.
Okay, so ulitin natin yan. There's a two-strike policy, rather. The first offense is, well, 6 months. Okay. Papaano sila, how do you describe, papaano sila magkakaroon ng offense? Papaano ang offense?
Well, the
Pag
offense is
hindi
a
nila-
violation. There's a list of violations. Pag naipasok sila doon sa list of violations, for example, marami mga government, local government units, mag-a-apply ka, ayaw lang nila sa mukha mo dahil masungit ka, dahil antipatiko ang dating mo, antipatiko ang dating mo, wala, bumalik ka na lang. Bawal yun.
O mukha kang ano?
O,
Baka hindi ka mukhang seryoso sa...
Oo, so-
hindi magandang pananamit
let's say,
mo.
nakachinelas ka lang, di ba?
Yeah.
Hindi ka tinanggap sa kanilang tanggapan. Bawal yun. As a matter of fact, between 9 to 5, wala nang break. There's a violation here. Kung hindi mo tinanggap yung kanilang request ng application within the 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 a.m., even during the lunch break, it's a violation.
So bawal na rin mag-lunch. Hindi pwedeng nakasulat dun sa ano,
Lunch break.
on lunch break.
On lunch,
Ganon. Wala, bawal yun.
Bawal yun.
Wow, okay.
This is a game changer.
Yeah. It seems
This
like
is a game
You know,
changer.
I have to tell you that I know somebody very close to me who will not name, na ganun din ang naging problema sa isang city na nag-a-apply siya ng permit. Siguro mga 5 beses siya pinabalik-balik, and it was just
Yun.
you know, so ako
Bawal
kasi
yun.
wala akong
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with this, paano. Pero alam ko, sino bang unang pinupuntahan sa LGU, sir?
If you're, let's say, for example, you're an MSME, in the MSME sector, yan yung mga karinderya,
Right.
small restaurants, mga small franchises for, let's say, potato corner and all that. You'll have to go get business permit. And then you'll have a business permit, then you'll have a occupancy permit if you rent from the mall, and then you have to have an inspection, then they'll give you a permit to operate. So, ito lahat ay maliliit na transactions within that franchisee or that local MSME with the local government.
Sa lahat kay LGU yon.
O kay LGU yan. Unless pag malaki ka ng kumpanya, let's say, you're a Lance Gokongwei or you're a Kevin Tan and you want to put up a big factory or a big plant, that will fall into 20 working days. Kasi
Got it.
national government agency yan, you'll request for an ECC.
Paano yung mga retail, for example, sir? Retail or salons?
That will still fall under these
3
simple
to
and
7.
complex transactions. 3 to 7 lang yan.
Okay, and then also important, sir, is that part of your bill is that there has to be a basic application form
Yes.
for all LGUs?
We are going to standardize all application forms. Kasi let's say you're a franchisee, you want to open in Makati, then you want to open in Quezon City. Iba-iba yung forms yung pinapakita. So the DTI now, together with the DILG, will come up with the basic standard form. One form for every LGU. You'll already be able to memorize how to answer and fill this up.
Whichever city you're in.
Whichever city you're in. Whether you're in Apari or in Tawi-Tawi, you have the same form. The nice thing also about this is we're putting up a central business portal. The DICT is in charge of putting up the central business portal wherein lahat na ng TIN number mo nandyan, yung BIR documents mo nandyan, let's say yung SEC papers mo nandyan. So you don't have to carry all these volume, di ba? Hindi mo na hawak-hawak yan pag-apply mo. Nandyan na yan sa central business portal. The DTI will give you a parang TIN number then for the DTI. It's your central business. It's sort of like a central business portal number. Yan yung identification number mo. So when you apply, let's say, to a national government agency or local government, pwede nilang ipasok yan sa kanilang website. May website yung national government dyan. You can get all the documents there. It's considered,
really?
It's considered certified true copies na.
You know what? It
Coming from
sounds too good to be true, sir, to be honest with you.
We at least come up with the best piece of legislation. It's the implementation. Yan ang
pag-uusapan
matindi.
natin after the
Oo.
break because we do know we have a lot of great laws. However, sometimes it is in the implementation. The problem you said with the Anti-Red Tape Act of 2007 is that they lack manpower. Now, here's the question. Can they use the same excuse as lack of manpower for the new Ease of Doing Business Act? We'll have the senator answer that after the break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Still to come, senators are also set to discuss its resolution to review the Supreme Court's decision on the co-warranto case of former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Senator Mig Zubiri will still be with us after the break. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Senator Mig Zubiri. So, Senator, this is really very educational. I was asking the senator if they're going to give this out because it's the Bible for those who want to do business. Anyway, there's an important part here. According to the senator, one of the problems is the Bureau of Fire and Protection. Sabi niyo po?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually,
so, dito siya.
sa lahat ng meetings ko, Pinky, with the Philippine Chamber of Commerce, European Chamber of Commerce, lahat ng Chamber of Commerce, lahat ng Management Association of the Philippines, all the businesses, MSMEs, their number one pet peeve, huwag sana magalit ko yung aking mga kaibigan sa Bureau of Fire, is Bureau of Fire.
Dahil pasensya, wala ko alam dito talaga. Oo.
Pasensya nyo na lang po. Walang galang. They would always complain that unscrupulous members of their group would go around peddling fire extinguishers, fire alarm. Kung hindi mo bibilin sa kanila yung mga fire alarm at fire extinguishers na ito, hindi nila actionan yung permit mo.
I see.
Kaya ang ginawa namin, naglagay kami ng special section for the Bureau of Fire.
Okay.
Yan. Bureau of Fire Protection officials are not allowed
to sell,
offer, recommend specific brands of fire extinguishers and other
Very
safety
good.
equipment.
Pinag-isipan mo talaga to, ha?
Kasi nangyari din po sa amin yan at saka sa mga
This
kaibigan ko. So, the beauty of that is, ang masama kasi, Pinky, buti sana kung kapareho nila, buti sana wholesale price. Or even price dun sa SM pagbili mo ng fire extinguisher. Times 3 daw eh. Kaya hanip sa racket. Kaya nilagay na namin yan. And then we also put the business one-stop shop for the Bureau of Fire, and they're only given 15 days. They're even shorter than the national government, the 20 days. 15 days to act upon the request for inspection.
I see.
So, mabilis na inspection na yan.
So, kailangan 15 days for the Bureau of Fire and Protection to inspect the establishments.
Yes.
Dapat, of course, you have the, fire extinguishers and the, ano nga ba tawag doon? Yung nasa...
Fire alarms.
The fire alarms, sprinklers.
Sprinkler system.
Okay, those also important. Implementation, Senator, we still have a lot to talk about. Kailan mo ba ito mag-uumpisa?
Actually, the President, the nice thing
Baka
about...
pumasok na ako sa business dahil dito.
Yeah, alam mo kahapon, natuwa ako kay Presidente. Because after he gave his speech, he gave the instruction. Nandun lahat ng cabinet officials niya, all the cabinet guys are there. I'm instructing you now, sabi niya, you have only 30 days to implement the IRR and to get this rolling. Sabi niya ganun. And he said, I don't care. Mang-utang kayo, maghanap kayo ng tao, magdagdag kayo ng tao, but I want this done. Because obviously, for example, the Bureau of Fire, they'll have to allot more personnel to inspect. Kasi na they have a time frame, hindi na 6 months. Dati, 1 to 6 months yun before maka-inspect sila. So now they have to do it within 15 days. Now, implementation, the DTI is on top of it. The Department of Trade and Industry under Secretary Mon Lopez, who is a wonderful person, he will be the policy body. But the ARTA, which is the Anti-Red Tape Authority, yun talagang iikot. Talagang gagawa
Yun
sila ng
under the
report
Office
card.
of the President.
Under the Office of the
So
President.
maybe implementation, we're looking at if 30 days for the IRR, maybe end of June, publication, maybe start of August? Siguro mga ganon. Okay,
pero
so,
dala-dala na nila. Pwede na nila i-download ito sa DTI website.
But also maybe, Senator, because really this is important to a lot of people in August, once the IRR is in place, let's talk about it again para mapag-usapan pa natin yung fine print. Because minsan ang problema, maganda naman yung batas, pero pagdating sa...
Pero pasabi ko lang sa mga kababayan natin nakikinig na yan. To all our MSMEs, all the businessmen that are listening, and I know a lot of businessmen watch CNN, print this, go to the website of the DTI, you can upload this, print a copy. This will now become your Bible. When you go to a local government or a national government agency, mag-apply po kayo for business permit, occupancy permit, building permit. Dala-dala ninyo ito para hindi nila matanggi yung inyong application. And this is not only for businesses, mga kapatid. This is also for driver's license. This is also for passport. Kaya kinausap ko na si Secretary Alan kahapon. Sabi ko, Secretary Alan, you have only 20 days for application of passport. And many other, all government agencies, basta lahat ng government agencies that transact with Juan de la Cruz, ito na po ang inyong karapatan, Biblia, ika nga, para sa mga transaction na yan.
So, BBL, you met with the President, you were part of it last night, and he certified the BBL passage as
Today,
urgent?
yes, he certified it. He certified it today, or he's certifying it this afternoon. But we requested for it because we don't have any more time. We only have till tomorrow. What we're planning to do is we're going to go back to work at 2 p.m. We made a bit earlier today. Hindi ako nakapag-amendments last night because we were in Malacanang meeting with the President.
Yeah, that is
so
shown there.
as you can see, we were all stern looks on our face. It was a serious discussion. But
So he said he'll certify it as
he'll
urgent.
certify
Okay.
it. But we both agreed, because the House and the Senate have different versions.
Yeah.
What we both agreed was last night is to pass our versions, and then we'll meet on BICAM during the break. And then, papag-usapan namin yung mga features na medyo kailangan pang pagdebatihan.
Yeah, because some of the senators want amendments, about 100 amendments of them, Senator Recto, concerned about the shared power between the national government and the proposed Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, or BAR. Meron din yung parliamentary system of government ng BAR and the budget of 150 billion pesos, and then they don't give back to the national government. These
Yes.
things, can you iron these out, Senator?
Actually, my good friend Ralph, we discussed it. We always talk about this. Is my seatmate now kasi nasa harap po ako as siya Senate President Pro Tem and Majority Leader. And we always are in constant interaction and partnership on the BBL. Medyo nagulat nga, ang daming nagulat. A lot of the people got really shocked in the Sunday newspaper when he came out, and he said parang re-repasuhan daw niya yung BBL is going to do facelift and all that. Actually, pumalag yung MILF. The MILF kind of reacted, and that's why they all went to the President. Before we met with the President in Malacanang, I believe Chairman Murad was there together with the whole MILF group, meeting with the President prior to us. And what I did was to talk to Vice Chairman Iqbal to reassure him that there are certain features of the BBL that are part of the the comprehensive agreement on Bangsamoro. That's the peace agreement. So sabi ko, these are mga non-negotiable issues. Like for example, the funding, the mode of government. The funding we can debate.
Yung 150 billion.
It actually is not 150 billion. The 6% block grant that they're asking is only 74 billion. It looks misleading because the 150 billion is to roll out everything. Because what they wanted initially under the proposed law was to kick out everybody. It's about 40,000 employees, and therefore to give separation pay of 3 months. Hindi naman pumayag yung DBM sa 3 months. Ang pumayag yung DBM at 1.5 months for 1 to 10 years, and then the 10 years to 20 years, 2 months separation pay.
Okay.
It only comes about to and then we took away removal of the teachers. We're not anymore under our proposal. The teachers won't be fired because it's impractical and impossible to hire 30,000 teachers for these positions because you have to be qualified and all that. So we agreed that they can cleanse that because there are problems with ghost teachers and ghost employees with the DepEd local.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is to allow them to cleanse, but we're not firing any of the teachers.
Okay.
So it brings it down to about 4,000 employees or 5,000 that would be given their separation pay. So bababa po yan. So we're looking at maybe 74 plus another maybe, we're looking
30.
at maybe for the separation pay another 5B. So that's about 78, 79.
Yeah,
And then what you call the special development fund will be removed already because the DBM wants to put the special development fund under the block grant. So in all actuality, siguro you're looking at for the rollout, for the first portion and the rollout of this program, it's about 100B. Now, the people are saying and raising their eyebrows and saying, ang laki naman yan. But you know, peace is expensive. Ang gusto natin na kapayapaan. Now, I'll tell you, Pinky, how much did it cost us to get back Marawi because of what happened? How much is it going to cost us to rehabilitate Marawi? It's going to cost us 100 billion pesos to rehabilitate Marawi, and it cost us about 10 billion to fight it, to be able to get it back. So the cost of war is more expensive than the cost of peace. Ang akin lang dyan naman, Pinky, this is a chance where the largest faction of the rebel forces, which is the MILF, want to go to government and not surrender, but actually work with government in a just and dignified, peaceful solution.
So in spite of the amendments, for example, by Senator Recto, do you think you'll be able to pass this on third and final reading by
I
Wednesday?
think so.
Okay.
Some of the amendments of Ralph are acceptable naman.
All right.
So,
Okay. Quickly, some senators are also calling for Sol Gen Calida to resign or the president to order or to fire the Sol Gen. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
Well, there's a co-anto resolution going around in the Senate. Now.
Right,
We
also
already
that.
approved- Yes, there's a resolution. Yesterday, the Committee on Rules meeting, we all agreed, and as chairman of the Committee on Rules, we agreed to put it out in plenary. So let the members debate on it, and we will decide whether or not to approve the resolution or not. Personally, I don't like to meddle with the judiciary. I'm hands off with that. That's an co-equal branch of government.
That's why you didn't sign the resolution.
Yeah, because it's their problem. It's not our problem. Now we're making it our problem. So that's my stand on that. Together with the stand of some other.
So what about
senators.
Sol Gen Calida? Should he resign or should the president fire him because
don't
of the
know.
conflict of interest that's been coming out, sir?
The resignation call, that's usually a personal, that's usually something that you take up on your own as a government official.
Okay.
And so I'll give him all that leeway to decide what he wants to
So
do.
you don't support calls for him to resign?
Not at this point in time. I have to see the charge sheet against him.
Okay.
I don't know him very well. As a matter of fact, he went to my office yesterday. And
Yeah.
there was a big hoopla about why he
media.
went. But actually, in fairness to him, he only discussed about his bill. There's a bill about the
OSG.
OSG bill.
Yeah,
modernizing
OSG. The OSG charter, I think.
Yes,
that's what
amendments to
it's
the OSG
called.
charter.
Right. All right. Thank you, Senator Mig Zubiri. We will invite you again after the IRR on this for those who are going to do business transactions. I'm sure you will all be interested in this. This is The Source on CNN Philippines coming up. Still, a sneak peek of the Senate's new building design. That's for today's In Focus. Have you seen that?
I know.
Time now for today's In Focus here on The Source. And here's another one. The Philippine Senate has approved the design for its new and permanent home in Fort Bonifacio, Taguig. Here's what the new building will look like. It has 4 towers and 4 plazas surrounding 1 session hall. The facade is designed like a Barong Tagalog, which also serves as heat deflectors and a privacy screen for senators. There's also a green roof, outdoor terraces, and a public park. The new building boasts of smart controls, optimized insulation, LED lighting, rainwater collection, and solar energy capabilities, which are expected to bring down energy costs by 73% and water consumption by up to 50%. This design by AECOM Philippines won the design contest held by the Senate and the Basis Conversion and Development Authority, or BCDA. Construction starts next year and will finish in 2021. Are you still senator by 2021?
Yes, I'll be there till 2022.
Then you'll see that.
I'll see that. Actually, it looks like a Star Trek building. Personally, I would rather have, I would have wanted to have the post office. You know the old post office? That's a grand building and refurbished. But I think my idea was shut down because it's dangerous during, it's a danger area during earthquakes.
No?
So
it's probably on a fault line.
well, it's by the river, the Pasig
yeah.
River. Liquefaction, it could like sink.
Okay.
So, well, you know, a lot of people would want to see 24 senators probably sink in the river. Our colleagues from the other side. But, you know, I was just kidding. But, yeah, this building is modern.
Yeah.
It's like for the new millennium. So,
Yeah.
perfect.
And then you'll aabot ka. Pending there, no delays. Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.